道で見るいつもの新聞いつものテレビどこ行ってもすぐそこに心ハムスルーでどこ行ってもすぐそこに笑顔溢れてくいつだって、yeah、途方に暮れて迷っても君を待つ家の光いつだってラララララ
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the GameNight Podcast, live from Seattle. This is the third episode in the Seattle Chronicles. And today, we are joined here by the whole crew minus one. Gage had a little bit of a rough night last night, so he is not joining us for this episode. He may be in the remainders that we're shooting today, but who knows? I think that's a good starting off point. Of course, today we're joined with me, Tyler Geekish, and we have Danny, Great Gaming. We have Tanner, the Adhesive Ejaculate. We got Tony Gunslinger himself, and of course JP,
Yes,
Three-Peat Jordan.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, we did a lot of walking yesterday. We went down to the pier. We got some food.
Sunburnt.
We went
In
down
Seattle?
to the beach. Yeah.
We got some Seattle merch. Everyone check out Geek Seattle merch.
Yeah, I bought some Seattle. I think we all bought some Seattle stuff.
Got a sweatshirt. I'm not wearing it though.
Yeah.
I didn't get the memo.
Yeah. I thought we were all supposed to be wearing it for this, but it's cool. I got it.
No, it's
The next one.
the next episode.
It's
I'll
cool.
put
I got
mine
it.
on, yeah.
But yeah, yesterday was full of exercise, and it hit Gage a little hard. And
Me fucking too. I just didn't throw up.
Gage had a rough night. His stomach wasn't feeling too hot, so he made himself puke, and he is still sleeping away. But it's okay. We'll truck on regardless. Make sure to send him well wishes in the comments below. Even though he could have died by the time you see this, but
I think it'll be alright.
but I think
Check the Twitter.
Yeah, check Twitter. But today is our last full day here in Seattle, so we got a couple pods to record, and then we're just gonna hang out and enjoy the beach. But I think what has been your guys' favorite part of the trip so far?
The beach.
The beach.
The weather.
Just being with you guys, honestly.
Yeah, it was
It's
like
probably
obviously
the gay
being with
sounding
friends.
response, but
Yeah, I've definitely enjoyed just kind of walking around, exploring, kind of seeing what's in the area, because there's a lot of stuff we walked down and saw on the pier. A whole bunch of different shops. I mean, some stuff is closed, some stuff is open. But I mean, there's places for cruises. There's a whole bunch of apartment complexes on here. We've been looking up like prices. We're like, oh, we could just move in tomorrow.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Yeah, just no, because I know I've talked about this on the podcast before. I'm currently just kind of looking for a place to move. I think the West Coast is definitely somewhere I tend to thrive at. So, Seattle's definitely up there. If you happen to be a leasing agent that works in Seattle and listens to the podcast, DM me on Twitter and give me some good deals.
Shout out.
I'll
Give you some shout
I'll
outs.
shout you out, and also I will pay you an appropriate commission.
Hashtag find geek place to live.
find a geeky place. He's not fucking homeless. A place to move to.
Yeah. But I'm also really excited. Tonight we're gonna have sushi, which I'm a big fan of, and we're right by the fucking ocean.
Geek's gonna be
which is-
taking my sushi virginity.
Yeah, the first of many virginities.
Oh man,
Oh man.
that's rough.
That's rough. But yeah, I'm really excited to try the seafood. Because obviously being on the ocean, this is probably the best seafood you're going to find quality and freshness wise. Didn't have to be shipped anywhere. They just pulled it right off the fucking docks.
Right off the boat.
So I'm really
And hose.
excited for that. What has been your guys' favorite food so far?
That sandwich I just devoured.
So it took us almost 2 full days to figure out that we have a mart
Literally
Literally.
right outside.
right outside. We've been
Last night, I paid $50 to have Postmates bring aloe vera, champagne, and orange juice. I could have walked 500 feet and paid like $15.
Did they have aloe?
I don't think so. I think that was the one thing they didn't have.
They had champagne and orange juice, though.
Yeah, they had plenty of champagne and orange juice.
Well, now we know.
Now we know.
The more you know. Should I zoom that camera in a little bit?
If you want.
We're gonna do some live editing right now.
Well,
It's
the
on the
favorite
top.
thing that I've eaten so far is probably the breakfast we had yesterday from CJ's Eatery.
That was really good.
Yeah,
that
that
was
French
really good.
toast was bomb.
Yeah. The omelet I had was very, very good.
Yeah. Oh shit! Sorry guys.
Yeah, no, CJ's Eatery was super, super good. But we're going to a place called Katsu Burger tonight. There's a bunch in Seattle, so haha, you won't know which one. Haha. But I'm
I mean,
really
by the time
excited
any
for
of
that.
these come out, we'll
Yeah,
already
we'll all
be back.
gone.
So
I
it's
might
not
be
like,
I might be living here by the time these come out. Who knows?
Fuck, I mean, that is true.
It's all a mystery.
There's an apartment complex right next to our hotel. Maybe I'll just move in there.
Just ship all my goods.
Yeah, I'll really just give me my PC and my clothes. The rest I can figure out.
Yeah.
Your
It'll
car.
buff out. Or rent
It'll buff out.
I'll go to your place, I'll rent a U-Haul, and then I'll drive over here.
Yeah, exactly.
I would be coming here a lot.
No,
He
I think Seattle's definitely up there for my choices. Because I really like the West Coast, but California taxes are just so insane. Whether you're living in Northern or Southern California, it's just crazy tax wise.
The only place I could think of that I would want to move to, like, after I'm done with college and shit, is probably like Nevada somewhere.
Nevada's really cheap to live.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah, it's like Nevada's a good place to buy a house. It's not necessarily a good place to rent though,
Yeah.
because renting's still really expensive. But buying a house is
And
a
there's
good
no
spot.
sales tax.
Yeah, there's no sales tax. Which is another reason why Oregon's another shout as well. Because, sales tax. When you're buying a house, that's a lot of taxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're spending $80K, $120K, those taxes add up real quick. Real quick.
Yield. Sure do.
But yeah, I've really enjoyed Seattle so far.
Me
think
too. I think the views among...
Yeah, we were right by the ocean, which is really nice. We can literally, it's like a 7-minute walk down to the ocean. We just cross a bridge and we're fucking there, which is really, really nice after we record these. I at least plan to go probably take a stroll down there, hang out by the water a little bit more.
And as D and CE said, there's definitely cake by the ocean, too.
Yeah,
Definitely.
there's plenty of cake by the ocean.
We tried to get Cake by the Ocean to come be on the podcast by the ocean.
We didn't.
Cake.
Danny just said, "Didn't you want someone with a fat ass on the podcast?" And then looked at me, like I can just magically go over and be like, "Hey, I'm a solid 7 out of 10. I know. Do you just want to have sex with my friend?"
No, it's
Okay, but what is stopping you from doing that?
Hi.
besides Society.
Hi, I
Respect for women.
I run a podcast.
But
It's a bunch of guys running a podcast. We need a fat ass on the podcast. Can you come be the fat ass on the podcast?
But why do I have to say it, Danny?
Why didn't you do it?
Particularly anyway, I mean, I'd fucking do it. Like, I'll just go, like, say, like, hi to a girl, like, hey, like, we run a podcast, we're looking for people to be on it. Are you interested? If they say no, all right, like.
Yeah, no, that's
That's the thing.
That part's fine.
Yeah,
It's adding in the fat ass part that I think makes the whole conversation
Fat ass.
a little rough,
Fat ass.
a little
Oh,
predatorial.
yeah, I'm not gonna say that.
Hey,
like,
you have a fat ass. Will you come back to my hotel room with 6
So
dudes and a bunch of
dead.
cameras? Like, that's a great pickup line. It works every time.
I mean,
it would be better if these couches were black.
The only way you could actually do that is, here's $300. Will you come have sex with me on camera?
yeah,
That's a much better approach. You should just take that.
I'll do that.
No.
It's a much
I didn't say
better
I'd say that. I said I'd do that.
I do. Well,
Here's $300. Come have sex with me on a couch for the
Yeah.
cameras.
I mean, you can use the bed. It's fine.
Hi.
Jesus,
sleep
fuck.
This is my audition.
Yeah.
Looks like
So
I'm holding my mic, everyone.
game night, you want to bend it in. You don't want it at a 90-degree angle. You want it at an acute angle.
The fuck does that mean?
Less than 90 degrees.
Alright, so back to basic geometry class. An acute angle is less than 90 degrees, or right angle is 90 degrees.
It bends
Is
in
above
multiple
90 degrees?
places. I didn't know what you meant.
Doesn't
Does-
bend forward.
Does
Right,
that
it's
mean
plus
does
between
that
360 degrees.
does that
Yeah.
mean does that mean that a 62-degree one is not an acute?
Yeah, it's acute.
Okay, what about a 42?
Yeah.
It's also acute.
Anything under 90.
Oh,
89 even.
There's several different types of triangles.
103.
103 is
No.
obtuse.
Ah, we see.
That's
Okay.
an obtuse triangle. I failed geometry. Fun fact.
passed an online geometry class for
Did
one of my
not
friends
fail
in graduate high
geometry. I
school.
failed calculus.
I
passed
haven't failed
calculus.
a single class in my entire life.
I almost
failed
failed
plenty.
I'm fine with numbers. I'm fine with shapes. I'm fine with letters. But when numbers, shapes, and letters start having intercourse, and
It's a little difficult.
yeah,
I took Calc 3 my freshman year of college, and then I almost failed out of theology whenever I was going to a Catholic university.
wow.
How do you fail? Yeah, I don't believe in Jesus.
That's the thing is, like, I grew up in a Christian household, but I'm like, oh, theology, easy, gonna be a
You'd
breeze.
think.
And then we're like talking about like all this stuff, and I'm like, I don't know any of this. I'm like, what the fuck
I
is
don't
this?
think this was in
And
the
then
Bible.
on the
I'm gonna be
14th
real.
day,
I was like-
Muhammad and his disciples.
It's like theology, like based off Catholicism,
Yeah.
and like I grew up in a Baptist household, and they're
Ah,
fairly
fuck,
different,
yeah.
especially when you're talking about like a lot of like the, Catholic dealings with Jesus and like different names and like the way different things are portrayed. And I was just like, and also I was like 19, didn't really care, didn't really want to study, just kind of wanted to go out and party, do whatever,
That's
play video
fair.
games.
And you probably were not planning on becoming a pastor at any point.
No, it was just a requirement because it was a
Yeah.
Catholic university, and I was only there for a year and transferred.
Yeah, probably.
Now I
a
have
good
a
call.
master's degree, so
So it all worked out in the end.
never give up, folks.
Never give
Never
up.
give up. Never surrender.
Listen, I
Hoorah.
hope I don't fucking give up. I've got this upcoming semester happening. I'm going to be taking my classes online because I'm not going back to that campus and getting COVID. No, thank you. But
blame you.
I didn't take a foreign language class in high school. I was probably supposed to, but I didn't like my Spanish teacher, and that was the only class offered at the school. So I just went ahead and skipped out on that. Got to college and then realized I needed it to graduate from college.
I feel like you put it right back in the exact
It was
same
off
position.
center and it was bothering me. Ah,
Yeah.
there you go.
But now I've got to take some sort of other language class in college. I'm worried that I'm not going to be able to handle it. That might be the one obstacle between me and graduating.
It's not that hard.
I mean, if you're taking Spanish, Spanish is a pretty easy language to learn, especially on the like lower levels, like the basic and intermediate levels.
Spanish was the only choice in my high school, and I don't think I can handle that. I'm going to try ASL. I've heard ASL is easier.
I don't know any ASL at all.
I don't
Actually,
know any deaf people.
I don't either. Actually,
I don't think it's real. I think deaf's fake.
If anybody watching has taken American Sign Language
If
courses,
anybody
let us-
listening is deaf, please
Well,
let
no,
us know.
It just has taken American Sign Language
Do you watch the
courses.
YouTube videos with subtitles on? If so, that's dope.
That's dope, but also YouTube subtitles are probably the worst subtitles in the world, so you have no fucking clue what's going on.
Yeah, at least they're automatic and they sometimes work. Anyway, if you
Yeah, watch this. Watch this. Turn subtitles on right now, okay? Ready? Do you have it on? Perfect. I drink water from a water bottle sometimes, and
It's definitely gonna make him say the N-word.
yeah, see?
I can already see it.
And sometimes I drink 2 water bottles with water in it, and then I take the cap off, and then I put the cap back on, and I throw the water bottle away. Let's see how well that worked.
My neighbor eats Nutter Butters every day, and he rented a digger to go and bring up his yard. And when the digger broke, he had to go to his neighbor and ask him to help him pull it out. Let me know what the subtitles say.
Spotify listeners, bear with us.
In the subtitles behind, whenever it says pull out, it's just gonna say lies. behind
Lies.
it.
Lies.
We don't pull out.
We don't pull out here. The only thing that pulled out here was the couch.
Yeah, that's facts.
That was a funny one.
That's funny because it worked.
I think I said that as soon as we walked in the hotel. I was like,
Danny's just been holding it. He's like, they'll forget. But I think we have some good ideas for some wrap-up podcasts that aren't just that are more sort of game-based. We have some ideas to for tonight, especially to do kind of a spooky story kind of podcast. So I think that'll be a good time. And we'll probably do maybe just one more of us just kind of like wrapping up our trip and stuff like that. Maybe go on Reddit a little bit, have a look at some like r/nice guys or something. Just enjoy each other's company while we can. But I do want to say I hope you guys enjoyed the videos that we put out. I'm not ending it.
Oh, okay.
Nah,
That sounded almost like a
No.
conclusion.
17 minutes.
I just wanted to say thank you guys for watching the videos we've put out so far. It really does mean a lot. You guys watching it and using our codes and links and sponsorships is the way that we can go on trips like these. And, the more support, the more trips, the more IRL content we can produce. So thank you, and I'll remind you again at the end of the video, but if you want to show your support and leave a like and subscribe to the channel, it would really mean a lot.
Also, feel free to leave a comment if there's any type of video ideas you'd like to see us do, any type of gaming reviews, anything you guys are interested in, because we're pretty open about.
We lurk the comments a lot, so we'll
Just gotta make content,
What the fuck was that?
It was a stretching this.
Also, peep the Naruto poster. You guys know the tradition. Every single
Come on.
IRL
Come. No knees.
every single IRL meet that we do, we try to get a poster and sneak it in somehow. The first time we did it was in Oregon. We got
Hello Kitty.
a Hello Kitty poster and a map of the United States.
And we got one more.
No,
It was Minecraft. We got another Minecraft.
Yeah.
We got a
in
Minecraft
Portland,
one?
we had 3.
Because remember we got
One
two that
on
were
each
vertical.
bed, and then one that was in like the middle.
Oh, I just don't remember what those in the middle.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we got apparently 3 there. I don't remember that. And then Phoenix, we got Minecraft,
which is
Bob
still
Ross,
in my office.
Really?
Yeah.
And then the unicorn
and
one.
a unicorn
Yeah.
one. And then this one we got a Naruto. So I think we're getting a pretty wide variety of random ass posters.
Which also, just for context,
You might keep this one too.
This is
I
the
was
first.
actually just doing this. I'm probably gonna hang this one up at my
Yeah, you
office
put a
too.
lot of tape
This is
on
the
it, so
first
you might
squad
just need to
meetup that I've
fold
been
it up.
to,
Yeah.
so I kind of wasn't there for any of that. I just kind of knew about it. But I don't know. This has been like big for me because I don't know if I mentioned this before in the podcast. But I'm from like a really shitty, poor area, and I kind of haven't went anywhere as an adult. Really, one of the only times leaving my area is I went to New York, like almost a decade ago. I would have been like 10, 11, something like that. Within my, I guess, late childhood.
Mm-hmm.
But that was like my only time really leaving my area. So actually being on the West Coast for the first time is different.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I prefer the West Coast to the East Coast as far as like scenery and stuff, because like I really like New York as a city, but as far as scenery goes, there's not too terribly much there outside of Central Park and then like a couple of piers.
Yeah, so this is my second time being on the West Coast this year. So I was in San Diego earlier this year, and it's I definitely enjoyed it. So I've got for those of you that don't know, I am in the military. I'm waiting on active duty orders. There's a good chance I can get stationed about 45 minutes south of here in Tacoma. So keeping fingers crossed for that. It's supposed to find out hopefully in the next month or so. But be a big shout if that happens.
Then we could
I'd
come
move out
visit.
here.
We could come visit Jordan all the time too.
Or even Jet.
Yeah, so Jet only lives 3 hours away.
Sure does.
Sure does.
Sure does.
That he
I
does.
miss that man.
I miss
I
him
miss him too.
Kinda
Yeah.
This one too. He was
Sad.
talking about driving up today, possibly.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna after this. I'm gonna
Add him on the Discord.
and be like, yo, what's up?
Miss
You
you,
doing
baby.
this, Bo?
You doing this?
You
You coming
doing
to see
this,
the
baby?
boys?
Baby boy,
Come
baby
be on a
boy,
podcast.
Jetpack Ahoy. What about your other kids, Jet?
Yeah.
But after this trip, I'm basically going to be going back to my heroin cum dumpster of a hometown and just kind of be lying in wait there for a few months doing some schoolwork.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, we'll still be making content. The
Oh yeah, we'll
podcast
still be
will
doing
coming
stuff.
out.
It's just
After
yeah.
this,
Also-
it just becomes planning the next one.
Valorant is going to be releasing a new
when we get
agent
home,
coming
Valorant
as
releases a-
soon as we get home.
Ooh,
So
I'm
we're
definitely streaming.
definitely going to be
That
streaming
day-
some Valorant.
That day, I'm definitely streaming some Valorant. I'm gonna
Big
go
show.
hard on
Big show.
Killjoy.
Yeah, I think
because
You
we
made-
all got a quarantine for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's like
anyway,
after-
where we've been flying. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
we
maybe
should get
I-
Anthony to. I think Anthony will enjoy Valorant. You
Dude,
like? Did you like CS:GO? Have you ever played CS:GO? Like,
I didn't get hard into CS:GO, but
because I know you liked Overwatch before it got sweaty.
I think you'll like the competitive aspect.
You'll like the
of it.
competitive aspect.
I would
of
have
it.
break something,
Probably,
dude.
Yeah.
I'm
I
not.
yell all the time.
I get very upset.
Yeah.
I get very upset.
See, like I was
But a
hard
win is
into
so
like
satisfying.
Black
It
Ops
is.
2, and I think that's the last time Danny really saw me rage from a game.
Yeah.
Was
Black
Black
Ops.
Ops 2,
No,
and I get mad, guys.
No, I feel that.
I've learned to just, if I'm not doing well, I just quit off and then
Yeah.
go like take a nap, jerk off, whatever I have to do to feel better. You know what I mean?
No, that's the thing. If I have like 2 bad Valorant matches in a row, I'm just like,
I'm done. Turn off.
No, it's
Yeah,
like that
it's
one
like-
day with Minecraft too, when we kept dying in the Nether.
Yeah, I was just like,
You were just like, all right, you know what, guys?
I'm gonna get my stuff.
I'm
and
going to sleep.
I'm going to bed. I can't fucking do this.
And then I was like, that's the only time I've ever seen Tyler rage quit.
Yeah, I was like, I'm pretty good about not rage quitting most of the time.
It's more like a rage
I
exit.
have
Yeah.
a pretty funny rage quit related story. I think you guys might want to hear.
All right.
So when I was younger, at one point, I had a very strange living situation, which involved like sharing a property with like this other this other family that lived in a trailer basically, and they were kind of like degenerates, and like one of them was like a young teenage boy living with like his grandma, and like she would just like give him weed, and he started smoking when he was like a child. And I would go over there because he had a fucking Xbox and we'd play Halo against each other. And one day we were doing like a 1v1 deathmatch on like a custom Forge map that we made. And he fucking lost it when I wiped him. Like he literally like stood up and like screamed. And then he grabbed his gas mask bong and he was like, "Grandma, get the weed!" And he was just stomping into the other room, just leaving me there in his bedroom, like ready to play more Xbox.
Grandma, get the weed. It's crazy that you hung out with Lil Pump.
Yeah.
You think Lil Pump really sells drugs to his grandmother?
Yeah, it's like I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't think he would
That's not
say
even like
if
a
it
cool
was true.
crime.
That's
I don't
true.
think he would admit it so openly
So-
as
so
he has.
openly
You know what I
just
mean?
Throw his grandmother.
So
under
I wouldn't
the
be
bus like
surprised if he does, but I don't think he does.
that. I remember hearing a story once about him fighting his stepdad, and I think that's really funny.
That is pretty funny.
That Lil Pump just has this super suburban white stepdad that he got into a fight with once.
But
Fucking crazy.
another thing I think we should talk about is Seattle got a hockey team.
Oh yeah, the Kraken's
The
got announced
Kraken.
a couple weeks ago.
So the Seattle Kraken is going to be part of the NHL Western Conference, starting 2021. They released their official logo. What do you guys think about the logo? There's 2 logos. They did the primary logo, which is the S with the
And then, yeah,
eye, and
yeah,
then the
and then
tentacle, and then the anchor.
Yeah,
I
really
like it. I like the simplicity of it. I like the color scheme.
I've been seeing people shit on it a lot, but I'm a big fan. I like
It
the
reminds
blue
me
on
of a
blue.
lot of their teams.
Yeah,
like-
So that's the
Emblems,
thing. Is
though.
like they're doing the thing that Arizona did it too. Is they try to make all of their teams have the same color scheme. It's
Yeah.
like once the Cardinals got announced, that's when the Diamondbacks changed their colors. And that's when
Yeah.
the Coyotes changed their logo and everything. But yeah, Seattle's kind of they're sticking it to the greens, the blues, the.
And I like
navies.
that. I like that,
Yeah.
but
I kind of like
Well,
it.
what I like is like the Seahawk colors aren't the same, but they complement it
Yeah,
well. You
they
know
kind
what
of
I'm
complement
saying?
it. Yeah, because they're like neon green.
Yeah, they're like
Navy
green
blue.
and white, navy blue, and then the Krakens are like the light blue, the navy blue, and then the white and red.
Yeah.
yeah,
So I like it. I'm definitely buying some merch.
I'm curious to see what their roster looks like.
I know. I was gonna say I'm gonna definitely go to some games because I know they're probably gonna come out to Phoenix.
I don't know how that works whenever you bring a new team into the league like that. If it's basically signing free agents and then you get a spot in the draft.
Well, I
Or
think
how
they
it works.
Golden Knights got first draft spot, didn't they?
They got first.
Yeah.
draft pick.
Yep.
So
Does that mean, that
I
just happened
imagine.
a few
And that's how they ended up with Fleury.
So
from
if
the Penguins.
exactly. If they play it right, they'll have a good team.
Yeah, I was like,
If they play it right though.
Also, hockey officially returned yesterday,
Mhm.
so on August 1st.
Yep.
And I'm a big St. Louis Blues fan because I'm from around St.
Mhm.
Louis, and they play today for the first time since. Well, it had
Coyotes are on right now. They're winning 3-1.
Yep.
So it's,
Who are they
it's
playing
pretty
against?
exciting.
Predators.
Yes.
Definitely, I miss going to hockey games. I miss
Me
going to baseball
too.
games.
Hockey games. It's just the atmosphere of hockey
There's
games.
something about
is-
eating a fat ass glizzy at a hockey game.
Yeah,
bro.
if you guys have never been to a hockey game, I recommend it.
Especially if you're from Arizona, because you can't go to baseball games because it's too hot. If you sweat a lot,
Oh
like
yeah,
me.
an ice arena is
If
fucking
you
perfect.
if
too,
you go
guys.
to a hockey game, you will enjoy every.
It's so
moment
funny
of it.
because you could tell the people that are from Arizona at their freaking Coyotes game because they're sitting there, they're like,
they're all shivery.
we're like, it's not even fucking like that cold.
It's beautiful. I love it.
68 degrees in here.
It's
So two things. I've never been to a hockey game, and also until about 2 minutes ago, I thought this was a bit because I've never heard you guys talk about sports.
Oh no, I mean,
I
watch
completely
hockey.
forgot.
Hockey's the only thing I
follow
pretty
an
much really
elaborate
follow.
Yeah, it
That's
was like,
I'm
hockey.
very big into sports.
I do NFL. I mean, I don't really fuck with college football until it gets to around draft season, but
It's like obviously we had the XFL this past year.
Mhm.
It's not coming back in 2021. I did get to go to a St. Louis Battlehawks game. Energy was absolutely insane. It was like it almost seemed like the Walmart version of the NFL because it was just everybody was just plastered drunk,
Yeah.
double fisting, man cans, which I was,
I
right
was there.
yeah. So I enjoyed it. It was a blast, and we had actually we were getting ready to buy tickets for like 2 more games later in the season in late April, but that was before COVID shut everything down.
yeah,
So it's kind of sad to see.
they picked a bad year to launch it, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I mean they were doing good, and so with St. Louis not having a football team after the Rams left several years ago, a lot of people were excited for football to come back, and it got to the point to where they were only selling the lower part of the dome, and then after about 3 games, they had to open up the upper part to sell
Yeah.
tickets because it was just they were selling out.
Yeah, I was like, no, I think if COVID didn't hit, they would have had a successful year.
I think
Yeah,
that was a
the
smart call on
profits.
them too to get an XFL team.
Yeah,
especially
no.
after the
Well, I
Rams
mean,
left.
now the XFL's
Temperance.
yeah, I was like, it's discontinued indefinitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Hopefully by 2022 they can try to go again. And
Yeah, and it's like I don't know if another football league like that will ever actually succeed and they like extend because I mean they've always had like arena football and the CFL and stuff like that. But I mean it's like NBA has the D League.
Yeah,
NFL definitely needs to have something like that outside of college football.
yeah, I was like, there's got to be some middle ground. There's definitely got to be some middle ground.
Yeah, because there was a lot of players that came from the XFL that were able to sign NFL contracts.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
like,
that's
not
it.
everyone peaks in college.
right,
And then there was a lot of people that came from the NFL to the XFL.
yeah,
That were
Yeah,
like
some
injured.
players that
free
were-
agents they signed a
Yeah.
contract.
They were on
And
the
vice versa.
Whether,
towards the end
or
of
had an
their
injury last
career.
season that they
Yeah.
couldn't really.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, it's a good thing to have a like a B/C tier.
It's like minor league
league.
baseball.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I'm really excited. That's one of the things I'm really excited for COVID and everything to be contained and over. Going to live events, whether it be sporting or music, there's something otherworldly about being in a crowd of people watching something you really enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah, so I know the first year that the Golden Knights came out, I got a hat and a inaugural shirt. So I'm definitely going to get an inaugural shirt for the Kraken. And then I'm probably going to end up getting a jersey because I like the color scheme. And I'm probably going to... I rooted for the Golden Knights the year 1. And they made it all the way to the...
Yeah, no, Golden Knights had a great year 1.
Yeah, so... I'll
If they
root
won
for the
that,
Kraken.
though.
People would have been pissed.
Oh
is the
my
thing.
god.
People would have been furious because they were like, "You gave them first round draft pick. Of course they're gonna win." Yeah, but no, they did. They had a very solid opening year. I
Yeah.
think it was perfect. It was perfect. So I'm hoping Seattle gets a good roster. they're able to get a good team together.
If we do the squad meetup in Vegas for next year,
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
21st, we should
yeah.
try and go to Golden Knights game.
Yeah, if it's in season, I'm down.
Absolutely.
That'd be dope.
Yeah, I'd be big down. I love hockey. Love hockey. But who were you supporting before Golden Knights?
We were Rangers. Fans.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
So
I've always been pretty partial to Blackhawks.
yeah, but that's the good thing about being a Rangers fan and living in Arizona is because we could root for the Rangers and root for the Coyotes because they don't
Yeah.
really play each other that much. And they're two different conferences.
Yeah, outside of Cups. Pretty.
So that was kind of the good thing with the Golden Knights too. Yeah, they're in the same conference as the Coyotes, but we can root for the Rangers still and still root for the Golden Knights. So.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it'll be a good season. I'm excited. I'm excited to see people, get to enjoy the things they enjoy again. Because I think that's been really hard for people during this whole lockdown is it's like, yeah, people can't go out, but also we're not getting any new content from like TV, movies, music.
It's
like
all
people can't record, people
scary
can't
shit in the
film.
news.
Like, yeah, you're either watching reruns or news.
Even some of the movies too that were supposed to come out, like Wonder Woman and Black
Yeah, I mean
Widow,
everything's
like,
been delayed
all that
because
shit got
they
delayed.
can't film. And
Yeah.
even if they could release it, they'd have to release it on a streaming platform or DVD, and that's the best way to lose money on a movie.
In other countries where shit's already opening back up, though, they're talking about like releasing movies first in other countries rather than in U.S.
Yeah.
theaters.
The U.S.
They
for the
should.
first time
They
ever
fucking
might be
should.
behind on entertainment,
Yeah,
and it'll be entertainment that's U.S. made too,
Yeah.
which is crazy.
like
They
I know
fucking
Christopher
should,
Nolan's
though.
new movie
Yeah.
Tenet, which is like one of the few movies that I was like really really excited for because I like Christopher Nolan. Fucking apparently that's gonna air in like foreign theaters first.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
I
it's
heard
delayed
about
like
that.
indefinitely in the U.S.
Yeah, it's like because most cities movie theaters aren't even open, and so
Mine's
it's like-
done forever.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
pretty
that's
sure
the
that
thing is,
theater
like-
in my town.
Movie theaters are one of those businesses to where it's like they have to continually operate to generate income. Because it's like it's so expensive to have that big of a space and not use it.
Yeah.
So it's like a couple months of rent with no income. That's gonna fuck you. That's gonna fuck you immensely. And movie theaters don't make that much as is because it's like movie tickets are covering the price they paid to show
Anthony
the
can
movie.
attest to that. He worked in movie theaters.
That's why the
That-
snacks
They don't even
push-
get.
they
They
push
barely
so
even
hard
get
to
a
sell
tenth
concessions.
of what
Yeah,
they
it
get
was
from
like
the tickets.
A ticket, you get minimal tickets.
If
Right.
you guys
Everything
wonder
on-
why the concessions are so
It's 'cause
much,
that's how they
that's
make their
their
money.
that's their paychecks, that's their electric, that's their
Yeah, I was like, ticket
That's
sales
everything.
might cover rent. Maybe.
And that's why they're getting so much more food now.
Yeah, I was like,
Too,
that's why
just
you
so
see
they can-
alcohol,
so they can
actual
sell.
food. Yeah.
Which is nice because I mean you go to a lot of the like AMC theaters and stuff that have the recliners. You can just sit back and relax. Like I went and saw Episode 9 of Star Wars 3 times while it was in theaters, just because I was like, might as well. It's like I had several different friends that were like, oh, like I want to go see it, but I don't want to go by myself. And I'm like,
I'll
I've seen
go.
it twice, but I'll go see it a third time. Like I don't care.
Yeah.
It's like you always go like get your drinks, whatever, just kick back and relax.
I'll go see episode 8 5 times in theaters. It's such a good movie.
Is
Oh,
that
is it?
ironic?
Yes, it
Okay.
was.
Yeah, no, that was.
But
I can't believe the last movie I'm ever gonna live to see in theaters is gonna be a Star Wars movie.
Actually, I think that was the last time I went to theaters. Was
Yeah.
That's the last time I went. I didn't see Sonic, even though I wanted to. And
I wanna see Sonic.
should've.
It's
I
out
didn't
now.
appreciate theaters enough.
I saw Sonic.
Well,
I
here's
wanna
the thing
see
too. Is
Sonic.
like talk about like movie theaters.
I was gonna
that are,
boycott Sonic, and then they fixed the way he looked. And
we talk about like movie theaters that are like permanently closed. There's a lot of businesses that are permanently closing because
yeah.
of COVID. So it's like, oh hey, like we're closed, and then like I'll see a sign like a week later, it's like permanently closed because they can't continue to rent the building while they're not making money, or
That's
like
the
different
thing.
stuff like that, or like they have to move the business, or they're like, I know people like back home in smaller towns. There's like, oh hey, we just turned our garage into like where we're operating our business out of.
Yeah.
It's like okay.
What
there
I
was.
was gonna say, what I think a lot of people don't realize about small businesses, if you run your small business absolutely correctly, you're still not making money for 5 years. Like, best case scenario, when you open a business, you have to plan for not making money for 5 years. Because you're going to have to pay employees, pay rent, insurance, all that, bring products in. So it's like,
These people got.
yeah, I
products
was
from.
like, these businesses that have only been open for 4 years, 3 years, they haven't had the time to build up that savings
They
to
are
put them in a
struggling.
to put them in a place to where they can, go 6 months without regular income. But
6 months, it's gonna happen for at least a year.
oh no, I think realistically 2020 and the first half of 2021 are pretty much shot. But it's I think as we enter fall, I think people will they'll have gotten the summer out of their system, and I think we'll see more people going in and taking the precautions, and hopefully we'll start to see.
We're basically just waiting for a vaccine now. We're that bad.
Well, America's pretty much gone on the herd immunity idea, which is, so if you guys don't know, when there is a mass contagion, there's two methods you can go about it. There's containment or there's herd immunity. Containment is what Italy is doing, what the UK is doing, where they're just blocking everything off, they're dealing with it, and then hopefully while they deal with it, a vaccine can be made, and then they won't have to worry about it. Herd immunity is when basically you let a mass of the populace get infected to create antibodies naturally that spread. That way we build up a natural immunity. But with herd immunity, you will undoubtedly face a large number of deaths. It's just, it's arguably the quickest way to reach immunity, but in modern society, when we have 8 billion people on the planet, we're talking about millions of deaths. And when you think about it strictly from a numbers point of view, okay, yeah, it makes total sense. But when you think about it as millions of people dying, it's okay, that's millions of families that are affected. That might be millions of families that are losing their prime income bringer. It can be a complete detriment for billions of people in the grand scheme of things. So I think when the numbers are this high for death, you have to lean towards containment, because it's that's the big thing about schools right now, right? Is obviously kids are gross as shit and you can't trust them. And so cool, kids probably aren't going to die from the disease. It seems to not target youth. But when those kids come home to their parents, and then, these kids have been fucking playing patty cakes, spitting in each other's hands, grabbing monkey bars and shit.
Putting Legos in their nose.
Yeah, and then they come and give their parents a hug. Now their parents are infected.
Well, I think it's hard on babies, but it's not as bad on kids.
That's what I'm saying.
Kids already have kind of a developing immune system, but young infants are, at risk.
Yeah, and here's the thing with a lot of the school stuff. So both my parents are teachers, and my sister just started teaching as well. And a lot of the precautions they're having to take is you literally have to cover everything that kids can touch. They still got to kind of stay away from each other. I don't know if they're requiring the kids to wear masks. I know the teachers have to wear them. There's a lot of stuff just can't have any kind of perishable seating, different stuff. There's all kinds of stuff. But the way Illinois is now, they've been talking about possibly moving back into phase 3 of our recovery plan, which basically means no school. So if that happens, it'll be interesting to see what kind of take and precautions on how they proceed forward, because they're already made it available to where, hey, you can come to class or you can do virtual, but you basically, it's a quarter by quarter type thing. So if you commit to one, that's what you're stuck in for the quarter.
For the next 3 months.
Yeah. So, I don't know, it's just kind of one of those things that's there's still so many things that are unknown, that it's just kind of got to let it run its course, because America originally did kind of start with containment, on closing everything down and saying, hey, you need to stay home. If you do go out, you need to be careful, don't come in contact with people. And then as the cases kept rising, they were just you know what, fuck it, we're just going to open shit, go get infected, whatever.
Economy took priority.
Yeah. So it basically came to that, and it's now it's kind of going back almost towards containment now that a lot of people are having it and they're kind of learning a little bit more.
A lot of major cities are doing mask mandates and stuff like that, even if the states overall aren't doing it.
And the states are giving counties and cities priority on face coverings and different stuff like that, and kind of how they run their city.
Which as it should be. Yeah. There's situations for big government and there's situations for small government, and this is definitely. If big government's not going to step in and be hey, this is what we got to do to keep people safe, then it falls onto the little governments to be like, okay, I need to keep my people safe.
I mean, for the sake of public health, locking down America for a little bit longer does make sense. But it's just when American companies are essentially just, grounds for money laundering, like internationally, it's kind of like, you know what I mean? People in other countries where things have already started healing are kind of like talking to people over here, and they're like, hey, you guys need to start opening some shit back up. Because, for the sake of trade,
Yes.
economy did
Yes and
overtake.
no. What the thing is we're still importing things. We haven't stopped importing, and we're not an export country.
Yeah.
So it's like, we're still fulfilling our trade agreements. We're still buying everything we can. It's just a lot of places are like, we're not going to take stuff from you because you are the worst country in the world right now. Yeah. We're not going to bring that into our country. But we're still buying things. So that's why we're going to see a huge deficit increase during this, because it's like, we're still importing at normal rates, but we're not putting out entertainment, which is why they're talking about, putting out entertainment on other countries first, because if America doesn't start bringing in money, we're just fucked.
And do you guys want to know what they're doing in my area to handle schools? Because they can't go all remote because there's too many people in my area that do not have internet.
Mm-hmm.
So what they're doing is essentially they're giving families the choice. Either you can send your kid back to school like normal, or you can stay home. If you're someone that doesn't have internet, you gotta send your kid back. You gotta send your kid back.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it comes down to, and it's not like a lot of smaller schools can make internet affordable for everyone. Like, hey, we can't send you home with a laptop and make sure you guys have internet. Like, I don't know, schools probably could eventually work with in their area to with internet suppliers and stuff to get people internet, but then they still got to come and install it and all that stuff. It's a big process.
42.
So there's really no telling what's going to happen. I mean, it's a difficult time for everybody, but I mean, eventually it's going to get easier at some point. Just right now, it really seems like there's no light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm worried about, is that this stuff is just gonna kind of keep pushing on. Like, I don't know, I feel like there's things we can take away from this, like, actually wearing masks during, a season where something's going around or people being sick. I think that's something that could be helpful potentially. To help stop the spread of disease. I'm fine with that, but it's just, I don't want things to get too overboard and predatory. You know what I mean? I feel like there's a balance that needs to be struck, so it's not to the point where okay, things are clearing up. Why are things still this locked down?
There's a difference in public health and protecting people and then infringing on people's rights. Yeah. So, which I mean, I see a lot of people on Facebook post, blah blah blah, I'm not gonna wear a mask, it's just the government controlling you, blah blah, this is and it's I mean, to each their own, they can think what they think, but at the end of the day, until it usually takes until someone they know gets actually test positive for COVID, and they're like, oh shit, this is actually kind of real, maybe I should take this a little bit more serious.
I feel like that's another part of it too, because for a lot of the anti-mask crowd, a lot of it is people that live in areas that are very low COVID cases, a lot of people that live just out in the woods and shit. In my area, not very many people haven't. I live out in bumfuck nowhere in the country.
Right.
So people that I know an equal amount of people that have been crushed by falling pianos and then have caught the coronavirus. So they're not really that worried about it. Which, I mean, in an area like that where there's basically no cases and nobody can go anywhere because everything's closed, why would you be? You know what I mean?
It's true. It's true.
Everybody's just going to sit in their double-wide trailers at home all day and drink until they're told that they can go back to the coal mine.
Yeah. It is what it is. So, I mean...
Yeah, at this point, there's nothing we can
But those schools are still going to fucking reopen, though. Because, even though 1 in 4 college students have an STD, you can totally stop them from getting a virus that is spread through the air.
Yeah.
I'm surprised your campus is actually...
They're reopening the fuck up. You're just not allowed to have roommates, and that was a deal breaker for me. I could have been okay, sure, I can wear a mask around campus, whatever. But the second that I was told I can't have a roommate at all, I'm gonna open myself up a bit here. I don't function well alone. I can't live by myself. It gives me too much anxiety. It's just okay, so I
didn't think I could live by myself either.
Just gotta go back to the trap, 100% silence, just me. I couldn't fucking deal with that.
That's where times I've lived with people and I'm I don't mind it, but you have to live with the right person. You have to be with somebody you get along with. Because I've lived with people who are they're really dirty. Like they don't like clean up after themselves. Like it's just real difficult to live with, even though they were one of my closer friends.
Mhm.
But then I've also lived by myself where I'm like,
Ooh.
I also live by myself to where, I'm
Sorry,
like,
Tyler,
I
just
enjoy
opened the
this.
door.
I'm like, I enjoy this so much. I'm like, I don't have to worry about anybody like having to like bother me or like judge me for anything I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I'm one of those people. I'm walking around, I'm like cooking, and I'm just like making like weird random noises and saying dumb shit all the time.
Yeah, I loved my
Blacking out
roommate.
at noon on a Tuesday by myself in my apartment.
Living by yourself? Would you be able to live by yourself?
What?
We're talking about living by yourself.
I lived by myself for a long time, for about 1.5 years, without roommates or anything. I wasn't a huge fan of it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like if I don't have to socialize with people, I tend not to. And so I'd find myself, like, spending just a lot of time home alone. So that wasn't the best thing in the world.
Yeah. Because I was talking about how, like, my campus is, like, reopening, but, like, you're just not allowed to have roommates. And I was like, okay, well, that's a deal breaker for me. Because, like, whatever, I can wear a mask, I guess. Around campus. But not being able to have a roommate at all, that was, like, tough for me. Because I can't live by myself. It just, like, I end up being too alone and socially isolated. Because, I got to be fucking working on homework and shit all the time.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of the same way, where it's like, if I'm a pretty hard worker when I get into something, so,
Yeah.
like, if I'm into something, I can spend a week on it and not, like, have any social interaction.
I just need somewhere to recharge my social battery when I need it.
I'm a huge introvert. I really like alone time. So, like, it's not, I don't even notice it. Like, it doesn't take an effect on me until I'm like, damn, I haven't seen people in 2.5, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm definitely not someone who has to be social to charge my battery. I definitely would consider myself an introvert.
I guess I'm pretty extroverted, I guess. I like being around other people at all times.
Yeah, it was like, there's no 100% right way. It's just, you gotta do what makes you feel comfortable. I think there's a lot of people that, like, want to be an introvert, and they give themselves depression with that.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, I don't know, a problem I definitely think we have, not right now, more so a couple of years ago, but the romanticization of mental illness. I think a lot of people gave themselves mental illness trying to romanticize it.
Well, I mean, that was just like 2014, 2015 Tumblr that started that, and then all those people just moved over to Twitter.
Yeah, no, 100%. But I think, with, like, it became almost, like an accessory to be an introvert.
Well, that's still just what it is.
I think it's less so. I think people are more, I think right now it's a trend to say you're an extrovert because COVID's affecting you so bad and you need to see your friends. But I think a lot of people were on that, like, I'm just, like, cool by myself for a really long time when, they really weren't. And then they ended up getting really depressed because they weren't, like, interacting with people.
Yeah.
And then, the romanticized depression turns into real depression, and you don't know where that line is.
I mean, I get the introvert versus extrovert thing in, like, the context of the coronavirus thing, like, trying to, get attention, but at the same time, like, you check somebody's Twitter bio, and it's, like, their age, 12 different mental illnesses, and then their pronouns.
Yeah.
And then their location is just something funny. And their pinned tweet... and their pinned tweet is, like, their, what's it called, like, Linktree or whatever, all my links, and then it's just everything else.
Usually includes an OnlyFans, but
Usually includes an OnlyFans.
It's just the wave nowadays.
Tells you what top % earner they are, and then their Snapchat that you can add to be able to buy the real Snapchat.
Honestly, I'm all for the OnlyFans wave. Because it's like, there's a lot of girls that I want to see naked, but I don't necessarily want to have sex with.
That's fair. And I mean, like, I think it's a good thing for women, too, because, I mean, obviously they're making money out of it, but, like, if it's something that gets them, like, with body positivity and, like, all types of different things, get them, more comfortable with themselves, raising the self-esteem level. Because there's a lot of girls, like, and guys too that struggle with stuff like that. Like,
Oh yeah.
so I mean, like, if it's something that boosts them and like they enjoy it and they can make money while doing it, all power to them.
Yeah,
I support
exactly.
it.
And especially with like, so I don't know. There's a Netflix documentary coming out called Verified, and it's about the 15-year-old that got like sex trafficked, and all of her videos were on Pornhub and shit, and like she was a verified creator, and it's a documentary about like her story and like how she got to there and how Pornhub's basically a very bad company, and they just try to use social media and like charities and stuff to make people not look at them. They're always trying to be as generous as possible when giving to charities, but in reality, it's probably it's a fucked up website, and so I think
It's like SeaWorld.
yeah. So it's like I think it's something like that to where it's like
It's a weird analogy, but I understand.
when we have an alternative where it's like we know the person that we're paying for the nudes or videos or whatever, they're getting it, they're in charge of it, it's I think it's an overall better.
They won't ever post something they don't
Yeah.
want to go out.
A good expression I've heard is there's no such thing as free porn. Someone's always paying for it. And I think that that's really stuck with me because it's like, that's very true. Someone paid for this in some regard, whether it be like, oh, this is only part of the video. You can go to a subscription base, or it's like, maybe this person wasn't entirely willing to be in this. And so I think it's a good thing to have, because I think pornography is becoming, everybody masturbates. It's just something that happens, and
Is it a children's book?
everybody comes.
But
Everybody
Like,
knows.
OnlyFans and stuff too is like, there's been several girls that like have either tweeted about it or like I've talked to about it, and they're like, I don't even like post actual nudes. Like I don't even post.
A lot of
anything,
it's just like
revealing.
suggestive.
Yeah, and it's just sexual content, suggestive, and it's just like it's even stuff they enjoy because like there's a lot of girls like that. They like dressing in lingerie. They like showing it off and doing that type
Also,
of stuff.
like cosplayers. There's a
Yeah.
lot of like I understand if you put $3,500 into a cosplay, yeah, you should get some money back on that. You should definitely get some money back. So I understand like there's a lot of avenues of it, and I think it's like Patreon where it's like people. It's not strictly a nudes website. Like
Right.
people teach like classes and stuff on OnlyFans, and
Well,
so
That's the narrative that OnlyFans wants to tell you.
well, no,
If you
bef-
look at the OnlyFans Twitter page, it's only them talking about.
well, yeah, because that's how it started, but now it's starting to diversify, and they're becoming a content platform, which I think is like a paid content platform is not a bad idea. Because it's like, if you have people that will support you, it is a way to get direct support from creator to audience.
And that's the thing to think about, like Patreon too, is like you have the different tiers, and if people want to, pay that money to support you, like obviously you describe like, hey, here's what you get out of this tier. Because like I've used Patreon before, and like whenever I had my YouTube channel and I was doing like Pokemon Let's Plays and stuff, I'd be like, hey, like if you support like just like $1 or like $5 or whatever it is, like in my next Let's Play, like I'll like give you a shout out your links, post your links,
Name a Pokemon,
name a
after,
Pokemon
you. Yeah, something like that.
do whatever, like do some type of thing, and like I had people do that, and like it was pretty cool to do, and like you just kind of like get to know people a little bit like that, like hey, like I'll follow you on Twitter, just like
Yeah,
doing
it's
different things.
it's a closer connection because it's like if you have an audience of 1,000 people, and it's like you have 1,000 people watch you casually, like 200 of those people might be like real fans,
Right.
and I think that's a way to interact with the people who really fuck with you and really support you, and kind of weed out some of the less dedicated people. And I mean, I've no creator I watch has ever like used one of those sites maliciously, I'd say, because I mean, like obviously you have the creators who are like, give me $20 and you get literally nothing, but most of the creators I've seen that use Patreon, they're like, you get pledge anything and you get exclusive videos that you
Yeah.
only see on Patreon.
Yeah, this is
And
kind of
then-
with like YouTube and their their tier system for paid subscriptions.
Yeah, they're
Like early access to videos, extra emotes, different stuff like that.
Yeah, I think Twitch really created...
Most podcasts that have Patreon will do, like, exclusive podcast episodes.
Yeah, or so a podcast I watch a lot on YouTube and I recommend checking out if you haven't is the Misfits podcast. And what they do is they do a pre-show. So you know how we just like sit down and talk shit before we actually start recording? They'll do that but record it and then they only release it on Patreon.
Yeah.
Cuz if you guys don't know, the Misfits are a little edgier content creators, darker jokes, and so obviously, you can't put all of those on YouTube, and you have to censor stuff that you do based on what you say. And so, it's a good way to, like, the people who want the edgier humor, they can get it.
Like the intro today.
Yeah, exactly.
Follow Ray Patreon. You could see what he said.
And I think the paid content platforms is a good. It's a good next step because we can't rely on like YouTube to provide ad money anymore. And so if another platform wants to come around and be like, yeah, we'll make sure you get paid.
So be sure to check our Patreon link down below.
No, maybe in the future.
Maybe in the near future.
I think if we do it, I want to make sure that it's like you'll consistently get your money's worth. Like I'd like to have a tier that's like every time we drop a piece of merch, you'll get something sent to you. Like you don't worry about it, you get something. Like I want to make sure that when we do it, people are 100% getting everything they're paying for.
We're getting merch.
We are.
Uh-huh.
It is being worked on. Don't worry.
Worked on.
We want to make
hella
sure
nice logos.
We don't want to just use Teespring and give you guys some half quality merch. You're gonna pay too much for it. We're trying to get it really sorted out so you'll be paying a decent price but getting a good piece of clothing. Like we want to make sure that. And another thing is it's like I want to make sure that you can wear our stuff wherever you go.
Yeah.
I don't want to release clothing that you're just going to wear in your room watching us alone and then take off when you go to hang out with your friends.
So stuff that will look
I want to
relatively cool.
Yeah, I want to put clothing out that you're like I could wear this to a party. Like so we just want to make sure that we're not putting out half-ass shit just to make money off of you guys.
Yeah.
You're not a bank, you're not an ATM. We appreciate you watching our content, and we want to make sure that you're getting everything you possibly can out of it. Whether that be merch, Patreon, anything.
You said I'm not a bank or an ATM, but what if some like really like high tier elitist like financier watches us?
If he wants to invest in Game Night, I will give him a business plan on what we plan to do with his money and how we're going to utilize it and return it. I that's fine. If someone wants to make an investment, I'm here to talk.
DMs are open.
But I'm not just gonna take money from a bunch of 15-year-olds. That's rude. I'm sorry if you're not 15. I don't actually know what our age range is. But if you have a YouTube account that says you're under 18, you're dumb. Just make a new one right now that says you're over 18.
And then come back and subscribe.
Come back, subscribe, watch this episode again, and then just think about your life choices in the future, alright? I'm pretty sure my YouTube says I'm like 30-something.
See, my
I'm
go-to
almost like 30-something.
my go-to fake birth year used to be 1985.
Why?
Because it was the year the Back to the Future took place, and I could always remember because of that because it was one of my favorite movies.
That's fair.
So I just used my actual birth date and then 1985 as the
I just did like
year.
10-year increments of my birthday. So like I was born in 1996, so I'd just always go down to like 86. Because I mean that's easy to remember. I like the websites that let you go down to like 1901.
Oh yeah.
And just
people still alive using the internet.
yeah, like my fucking 106-year-old grandmother just.
Her arthritis can't even hit the keys correctly.
Time to post to my OnlyFans.
My name is Gary and I'm 119 years old. Sir, can you help me set up my Reddit account?
I have a lot of Reddit gold. What are we at for time?
We're 59 minutes.
59 minutes in.
Hey, look
Gonna
at
wrap
that.
it up.
Perfect. As always, I want to give a huge shout out to Rogue Energy for powering the podcast. You can use 10%. Or you can use code GameNight for 10% off any of your.
Use 10% for code GameNight.
Use 10% for code GameNight, and you'll save 10% on your checkout of any items.
Also, I think we're able to leak this. There's a new flavor coming out. If you guys have been following Rogues, they haven't released what it is yet.
Oh yeah.
But if you followed Rogue's Twitter, they tweeted out that there's a new flavor
if you
coming
guys
out.
want to know, I'm like 85% sure it's gonna be black cherry. I'm like 85%.
I'm in the Rogue Energy Discord, and there was some people saying that like they want a black cherry flavor, and they said like it's been in the works, like they're working on a black
What if
cherry.
by the time this episode comes out, it's already been revealed and you guys are both wrong? That'd be fun.
I said 85%. There's still 15%.
Well, as of August 2nd, 2020.
Yeah, 15%'s a lot.
Yeah, they said there's a new flavor coming out pretty soon.
Yeah, I was like, I'm
so.
fairly certain that's going to be the black cherry. 'cause
Again,
that's been in
if you guys are
development
gonna
for a
go ahead
while.
and pick up that new flavor when it comes out, make sure you guys use code GameNight. Get yourselves 10%.
Yeah,
Try it out.
get a new shaker while you're there.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna try it out. I always try out the new flavors.
Yeah.
Do try a video.
And, of course, as with every episode in the Seattle Chronicles, a big shout out to Calibar. Thank you for the opportunity to promote your product. And we have been enjoying it. They've been getting us through the whole trip. And they're delicious and a great nicotine alternative. Again, if you don't already have a nicotine habit, I would not recommend picking up one. But if you're looking for an alternative that is both tasty, affordable, and discreet, I would recommend Cali Bars. They have a large line. We are using the Juice Head line currently, but they have several lines made by premium e-juice distributors, and I think you guys would really enjoy them. So make sure to give them a shout. Check out the link down below, as well as all of our socials and whatnot. And like I said, I'm going to remind you again, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, and if you're new here, we would really appreciate if you subscribed for more content to come. We have a couple more of these Seattle episodes, then we'll be returning to the normal Discord format. And I'm excited to see the end product of all of our Seattle shenanigans.
The Seattle Chronicles.
The Seattle Chronicles, and there will be a vlog style video of a compilation of a bunch of different stuff that we've taken so far. So I will see you guys in the next one, and make sure to go out and do something you love with your day. But we are going to get on out of here. Goodbye. Goodbye. Good.